Okay, we are live now, and so Ivy Katoya, could you introduce
Yes.
yourself to the audience? So,
Yes. Hi, everyone. My name is Ivy Katoya Lassiter. I always say heavy on the Katoya because I'm named after my father, Cato, who has inspired my entrepreneurial journey. And so I take that very seriously. So, hello.
all
You
right. So, while Facebook builds our audience, we want you to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, and now we're even on TikTok.
Hey.
So we're gonna while the audience is being built, we're gonna take a little break. All right, so I call you Ivy instead of
Yes.
Katoya. Um,
Yes. Yes. That's
so
fine.
so Ivy, tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do.
Okay, yeah. So my name is Ivy Katoya Lassiter, heavy on the Katoya. Shout out to my dad. Um, so my husband and I, we own a You Break I Fix. Our store is located in Wake Forest, North Carolina. And we have been franchisees for roughly 5 years. At You Break I Fix, we can repair pretty much everything tech. So that's going to be your laptop screens, your iPad screens, as well as small parts. So charging ports, batteries. We are partners with Samsung, Google, and Asurion. And You Break I Fix has recently actually rebranded to Asurion Tech Repair. So if you have insurance with your carrier, such as Verizon or AT&T, you can definitely file a claim and come to our store if you're nearby. We'll take great care of you. Also, if you have children and they love to play like PlayStation 5 or Nintendo Switch, any of those things, we fix those as well. From the disk drive to the HDMI port, from the big to the small, we like to say we fix it all. So just look us up.
Okay, great.
So,
So, Ivy, you said that you and your husband are the owners of a franchise because a lot of people, some people are against franchises, and then some people find the value in franchises. So, can you tell us by you having a owning a franchise, because there are different, franchises that I
for
mean,
sure.
like that you're buying the brand of a certain business. How do you feel like being a part of a franchise has helped your business?
Yeah, yeah. So I wouldn't change it for the world. Being a franchisee has it's definitely helped our business in regards to there were already systems in place. Such as where we enter our work orders and things like that. We use a software called Portal, which was built in-house of You Break I Fix. In addition to that, our partnerships were already established. As a result, it's basically a value add of the franchise, right? So before we became Asurion Tech Repair, we were partnered with them, which drove revenue because a lot of people do value insurance on their technology. And so that brings people into our store when, let's say, for example, Verizon says, hey, you break our fixes up the street, they'll fix your phone in 2 hours or so, as opposed to you having to mail your phone off and then get a new phone back in a day or two. We're able to shorten that process. In addition, I would say being a franchisee, it just goodness, the audience was already there. We didn't have to do quite as much marketing because a following was already built. And honestly, it made me feel a lot more confident because I knew that there was already a level of brand awareness, and I could, have conversations with other franchisees to find out what did they do that worked. How many stores do they have? What did they find that worked successful for their store to generate more revenue versus, what did they find wasn't as successful, so that I could pretty much not make those same mistakes. So it's a great community, being a franchisee for sure.
Okay, so you kind of had a network, if I'm hearing you correctly, and brand awareness, but that drove business, and then thirdly, systems in place.
Yeah,
I try to talk to people about systems all the time because systems are either going to make or break your business. If you duplication, you got to be able to duplicate yourself because you can't do everything um, by yourself, and you can't be a solopreneur because burnout and limited ideas and different things just as a solopreneur is very hard to accomplish, right? Being a
yeah,
wearing so many hats in the entrepreneurial space, but also to be breaking into a business and have to establish all of those systems in place. So the biggest thing I would say is the systems, the
for
network
sure.
of people, and then you said you already had relationships with other companies that drove business your way. So
Mhm.
sometimes becoming a part of a franchise is not always a bad idea or bad thing because most people talk about, oh, you have to pay the royalty fees and different things like that. And that's what discourages a lot of people from doing that. But if you can make your gains outweigh your losses or your learning curve, it will definitely leverage you to the next level of business.
Yeah, for sure. I would say that it really saves you a lot of time. It's similar to like getting business coaching, right? So, which we know is amazing. So yeah, I have you. Yes,
Ivy
yes.
is one of my mentees, and we do business coaching on a daily basis. Actually, she hired me on a daily basis.
Amen. Amen. And I wouldn't change it for the world. Getting into the right rooms with people that have achieved what you want to achieve is so important. And the thing is, if we had not brought into the You Break I Fix franchise, then my how can I explain it? Either way, you need business coaching, but I'm able to be coached on a business that has a larger scale because I actually have the need to move from solopreneur to entrepreneur. We have employees, and it's important for me to know how to deal with different situations. It's important for me to learn how to even grow our store's footprint even more to generate more revenue. It's just a whole lot of things to consider as an entrepreneur. So, like, yes, business coaching is very important. But I kind of got off the subject. So, what was that question that you asked me, Eric?
So we'll just roll into the next part. Um, that what did you do before you became? I know you only been doing break I fix for 5 years. So what did you do
Mhm.
before that?
Yeah, so before that, I actually was in B2B sales. I was an account manager for Time Warner Cable business class prior to them becoming Spectrum. And that's actually how I found out about U Break iFix, because one of my accounts was a U Break iFix franchisee. We were actually around the same age or so, and he had a few partners, and they had about 6 locations. So, being that I've always aspired to be an entrepreneur because of my father and my grandfather, I have I'm really great in sales and marketing. My husband's super great in IT. I said this could be a great opportunity. Went home, told him about it, and it was off to the races from there. So, my transition from corporate America to entrepreneurship, I would say, was decently smooth, because my husband and I are on the same wavelength when it comes to that. So he was really able to, um, honestly, we went to Florida to find out more about the U Break Fix franchise on our anniversary. Literally, like it was a 1 day trip. We got dinner there, but you know, we knew that we wanted to kind of break out to have our own, and we would have to make some sacrifice to do that. So, having his support emotionally and all areas was super helpful. And he was able to continue to work full time more until recently, where we could really be full time in our on working on our business, honestly, not in our business, because that's what Erica teaches. You kind of work on your business, yes, and not in your business. And it's super important. There's so many levels to entrepreneurship. I respect all of the levels, but I do know, we want to be at the level where we're having passive income, where we have systems where we can take an international trip and not have to worry about, our business not excelling the same way it would if we, were here. So I encourage all you entrepreneurs to focus on a system. I don't care if you have one employee. Focus on a system. I encourage you to listen to people that have done what you want to do. Do not listen to people who aren't even doing what you want to do. Do not listen to people who, it sounds, and I don't mean this in any type of way, but don't listen to, someone who works for you on how to run your business. That's a whole nother conversation. Okay. So understand that business ownership and expertise in whatever your vertical is are two separate skill sets. And so listen to people that have what you want, at minimum, what you have.
Now and we wanted to do this as a part of a give back, right, at the beginning of
Mhm,
the year. A lot of people are making New Year's resolutions, so some
mhm.
people, this is going to be actually their first year, probably their first day to step out on faith, right,
Yeah,
of
yeah.
leaving corporate America just like you did.
Mhm.
So what is the biggest challenges that will bridge that gap from corporate America to entrepreneurship?
Look, you know what I'm gonna say? Coaching, coaching. Get a business coach. Invest in a coach. I kid y'all not. Like, otherwise, you're gonna kind of learn the hard way. You know how they say, like, drinking water out of a fire hydrant or a water hose or something like that? That's gonna be entrepreneurship, period. Right? But if you have someone that actually cares about your success, because I mean, hey, coaches are proud that they can even help the people that they're coaching, right? So if you have someone that will literally like handhold you as you grow as an individual and as an entrepreneur, then like that is going to put you light years ahead. Myself included, other, I like to call CEOs that I am friends with, we've all had to go and get our bookkeeping reconciled. Why? Because as an entrepreneur, you're focused on, especially if you're not buying into a franchise, you're focused on generating business. Because you're being a solopreneur, you're wearing like more than 10 hats. And your niche is not bookkeeping or accounting. Then what? Then you're losing money because there's some inventory somewhere. Then your labor hours are getting stolen. It's so many things. Like, just invest in yourself. And that's everywhere. Like, anyone that is successful will tell you to invest in yourself. So,
were you scared?
I wasn't scared, but honestly, that's just because that's all I know. My father was an entrepreneur, so like I grew up seeing nothing but courage every day. I grew up seeing someone that even if they didn't feel like doing something, they did it. I grew up saying, go get what you want. So, I mean, now I tell you what though, having my husband definitely helps me not be as scared, right? Let's just say I had security because he was still working, right? But so I can't speak to that part, right? But we also prepared years before, with not overspending. We said, we don't know this money, what we gonna spend it on, but God gonna tell us. We're gonna use it for something, this nest egg. So just always make sure your credit is right. You have a nest egg if you can. And seek out the right people. I promise you, you do those things, you good. And if you don't have any children and you're generating money, like, you have no excuse because you can invest in yourself. You have the disposable income. So,
leading up to the next question.
Mm-hmm.
Now you're not only an entrepreneur, you're a mommypreneur.
I'm a mommypreneur. Yes.
So how does that work out? Because a lot of people, they feel, and you got single mothers that are probably listening, but then you got people that have kids and they have so many obligations to their children, the things that their children want to do. They center their life around their children. So how do you have the time to live out your dream?
Right. Yeah, for sure. I would say it first starts with mindset. So we know the reason that we want to succeed is because of our children, right? They're a huge part of our why, a huge part. We want to leave a legacy for them. We want them to learn and understand financial literacy. And we want to walk out what we teach them, right? So I could say, go after your dreams, but like, if I'm not, kind of gives them a reason not to, right? So what I'm saying that to say, you want to spend time with your children. You also still have to make time for business. So what I've learned is your time is like your biggest asset, right? Like, that's what we work so hard for, so we can have not just money, but time. Or why have all this money if you don't have the time? Because I want to be able to travel with my kids and let them see the world. And it's about creating those memories that's super important. So what drives me to work hard in regards to being a mompreneur is knowing my why, and my kids have a lot to do with that. Something else, systems, right? So your household can be run a lot like a business. So, you think about delegation. My husband and I have help. We have essentially like a part-time nanny. She comes in, she helps me with, dinners, clothes, keeping the house in order. That takes a huge responsibility or burden off of me, right? So then when I am home, I can really spend time with my children. Something else I've learned is the Focus app on your iPhone. That helps me be a great mompreneur. So it's kind of like do not disturb. So I am able to focus on certain things during the day, because I know that at like 5 or 6 o'clock, I am not going to get much work done when my kids are around. That's just what it is. So really what I want to do is I want to inspire mompreneurs. I want y'all to know we the CEO, mompreneur, like all these big names out there. I guess Jeff Bezos or whoever, Oprah, all these people, we can have that level of success and be moms. We just have to prioritize our time. We can't use our energy on things that don't serve us. We got to think about our return on investment with our time and our money. What I have really learned is I'm super grown. So why do I need to deal with something that doesn't serve me? Like, I don't go to school. I don't see people who, we may not, I don't have to see people. I choose to see people. That's what I'm saying. So if I choose to be in communication with you, if, like, that's because I see value in the relationship. So to be a mompreneur, you really have to figure out what's important to you and what people are important to you. And anything that doesn't provide you value, it's like, just let it go. Who cares? Be happy.
And some people really, and I'm glad you talked about delegation.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then, hiring somebody to come in, help keep the house,
Right.
help with dinner, help with
Mm-hmm.
laundry, because you can get caught up in these minuscule tasks that
Mm-hmm.
not only mentally burn you out, but physically burn you out and put you in a bad space of things that you don't want to do. So
Yeah.
that's another reason why you go out and you make the money you make. So then that way you are not, as you say, you're going after your time. And having
Yes.
hours by having somebody to help you with your children, helping you with laundry, helping you with dinner, how much time are you gaining back where you can spend those special times with your children and you're not frustrated because you're doing minuscule tasks that you don't want to do?
Yeah.
We got somebody here.
Okay.
For me, I think my upbringing makes me feel shame to hire someone to take care of my home, task, and children. How do you overcome that? Because that is something real. I used to live with somebody a long time ago, and he thought that people that hired, housekeepers were lazy people. And I've always, no matter how much we did not have, my dad believed in spending money on having somebody to clean up. But there are people, and he had that mindset that you should be ashamed to hire somebody to come in here and do things that you should be tasked to do. So how do you overcome that?
Yeah. I just think about what's really important to me, and it's time with my children. Like, my kids don't care who's cleaning up my house or who's washing their laundry. My daughter literally said to me yesterday and today, Mommy, can you lay in the bed with me? I just want to spend time with you. Like, so I would just focus on what's really important to you. Something else that I do, the Mommy and Aspen show. Like, so y'all may have seen that. I like to incorporate my kids into everyday life, right? So, like I said, we have a part-time nanny. So sometimes, I gotta, wrist in the kitchen, twisting like a stir fry. Okay. And that's from the song. You know that song?
Now,
Erica? Oh yeah, I don't know who the person is, but they say I think it's like the Migos or something. Christina Kid twitching like a stir fry, something. Anyway, so I'll do like the Mommy and Aspen show. So if we're like making hot dogs or something, I say, "Hey Aspen, you want to do the Mommy and Aspen show?" "Yeah, mommy." And okay, let's boil the water. Okay, let's put the hot dog into the pot. And that's also teaching her how to make food. So I'm like teaching her and spending time with her at the same time, you know. Or if I, am cleaning, hey, can you help mommy, put the clothes in the washing machine or something like that. Um, so and this is the thing too, like, look, we are all working to grow and evolve. So if you have to do like a positive affirmation to yourself, like, my children love me regardless if I'm doing this task at the house or not. Like, talk to yourself. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe ask them, hey, if mommy had someone come in and help her cook dinner, would that be okay with you? And I'm sure they say, yeah, mommy, that's cool. You know? So just try not to be too hard on yourself because at the end of the day, it's the big picture. Like Erica said, we don't want to bog ourselves down with, tasks that we can pretty much like delegate. You know, if your goal is to just be a great, mother to your children and or a housewife or something of that nature, then that's great. But if your goal is to be a mompreneur, then sometimes we kind of gotta adjust because otherwise you will get caught up doing those tasks and you won't be able to elevate yourself to the next level because we're focusing on who is sweeping the floor,
Well, I
you know?
think it's kind of like breaking a generational curse.
Yeah.
Because people make you just like mental health. People don't want to talk about it's kind of taboo, right? Or
Mhm.
homosexuality, where you got the LGBT community.
Right.
A lot of people, because they are so accustomed to these old mindsets and old
Mhm.
frameworks, they
Right.
do make you feel better. But then that's when where they say sometimes elevation requires separation.
Mm,
So
definitely.
once you separate from people that have certain mindsets and and decide to do what's best for you in your situation, and you cling to other people that share your same mindset, it's
Yeah.
not taboo because everybody in your circle now has someone that comes in. It's
Yeah.
like second nature that,
Right.
oh, so you got somebody to come, you got someone to come. Oh, well, this is not
This is
as
normal.
weird or shameful as people make it out to be. So
Right.
that's a part of, you know, changing your circle
Environment, your
and your
circle. Yeah.
environment.
Hmm.
And that way you feel less ashamed of things that's going to actually take you to the next level.
Yeah. And that's again where, the coaching comes to in play. And that's where, like I mentioned, getting in the right rooms is so important because then like Erica said, you won't feel ashamed because a lot of those people is going to be normal, you know. So I think that you made a great first step just by asking the question because there are no stupid questions, you know, and by even watching this live and following Bossed Up Academy. So salute.
Yeah, so hopefully, Shamika, this will be your new norm and you can do what you want to do. And then Carolyn chimed in and said that was a word. So
That's a
she
word.
appreciated it as well. And that's what we got to do. We got to break generational curses. And a lot of people think it's about money, but it's also about mindset and how you think in different perspectives too. That's going to elevate you to new levels, new heights, and bring you out of certain realms that you no longer want to be a part of.
Yes, yes, for
And then
sure.
we got another mommypreneur on here, Tanya. She runs her own business too, and she's a actually a single mother, and
Oh, so awesome.
she is giving us the applause.
Thank you,
So,
Tanya.
yeah. So, I mean, this leads me into the next part to say, if you could talk to your 20-year-old self, which wasn't, 2 years ago,
Yes.
what advice would you give yourself?
Um, wow. So, mm, my 20-year-old self. So, something that's kind of ringing in my mind, just real quick to piggyback on what we were just talking about and to answer the question that you just asked. Um, so, Beyonce and Jay-Z have a song called Boss, right? And Beyonce said, I paid the cost. Who gonna take care? Who's gonna take it all? I record, then I ball. So she's doing the work, then she balls. She said, I ignored a lot of calls. You ain't talking about nothing. I ain't got no time. Got that dinero on my mind.
So break that all the way down for us.
Woo! Yes. Okay, so yes. It goes back to mindset. It goes back to breaking generational curses. It goes back to just being focused and believing in yourself. It goes back to not feeling bad for that separation that sometimes you gotta have so that your mind can become stronger and and you can develop. Yes, if it don't make dollars, it doesn't make sense. Okay, exactly, because we should be helping each other, not tearing each other down. So again, that Focus app on Apple's iPhone, y'all should check it out, because when I always like this song, the song Boss by Beyonce and Jay-Z. And another part that I like from it, Jay-Z says, everybody's bosses till it's time to pay for the office. Till them invoices separate the men from the boys. We measure success by how many people successful next to you. Here we say you broke if everybody gets broke except for you, boss. So what's that saying? He said, here we say you broke if everybody gets broke except for you. So in my circle, everybody getting broke except for me, something wrong. And if they getting broke, then that means their mindset is not where it needs to be. So I say y'all should go listen to Jay-Z and Beyonce, because that song Boss is lit. And that's all I got to say about that.
I love that song. And then Shamika's
Yes.
coming in. Carolyn said that she needed to hear this tonight, and that's why we're here and on here tonight. If we make a difference for at least one person, that's what we want to do. And then Shamika's here says that's a whole nother message. Help each other, not tear down. I was just talking about this last night. Yeah, and I mean, once you start getting into different circles, the conversation is different. So people that hating and backbiting and you should feel ashamed, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do that, it becomes the new normal. And then sometimes I get with certain people and I feel like, man, I got to step up my game. I'm kind of lost here. So, and it keeps elevating you. And that's like they say, if you're the smartest person in your circle, you need to find a new circle. So you want people that's going to lift you higher, take you higher. And that's the ultimate goal of life. But also, to link the mommypreneur and the entrepreneur together, it's about not only do as I do, do as I say, but do as I do. I'm going to show you, baby,
that's right.
This is the life that I want you to have, and not to settle for this, to see that mommy keeps climbing higher and higher.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. When the
Mhm.
Noel, right, when you're in the right circles, it elevates you, it motivates you, it puts a fire under you because I mean, there's nowhere to go but up when you
Yeah,
are talking in different spaces. So
yeah.
if somebody was starting their business off, because a lot of people are making a lot of New Year's resolutions, right? And
Mhm.
they want to, this 2023 has got to be my year, even though most people start every year with
Right.
2019 is going to be my year. 2000, I'm going to party like it's 1999, but 2000 is going to be my year. So, what advice would you give somebody with this being day 300, day 2 of 365 for their new business?
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So I would say write your goals down, right? Because you gotta write them down. Okay. Um, Pretty much watch things that motivate you, talk to people that can elevate you, work on yourself, read a book, a month or every 2 weeks. Like just really focus on um, you know, what is the return on my investment? Whether it's money, whether it's time, you know. Um, yeah, yeah. I've been working on my thoughts, guys, my mindset for almost a year. My husband and I have known Erica for almost a year. And I'm so thankful. I'm so thankful. Okay. Like, uh, it's a room. She's a room who I want to be in a room with her. Um, I'm going to go ahead and we know that she's not an attorney. She's a business coach, amongst other things. But I mean, I've been able to learn more about like trust and, you know, whole life insurance, like all these things that, um, are that our culture has limited knowledge to. And I'm super excited. Like, 2023, my husband and I are launching, and not just 2023, like Q1, ms3it.com. Okay. Google us. All right. Um, Andre Lassiter, look him up. Um, he and our team will be able to help you with your IT needs for your business. And that's from marketing to a whole lot of stuff. Okay, I'm gonna let y'all know that's kind of like his project, and then my project is I am starting with Erica in my real estate um, investing business endeavors, and like I said, you get around the people who have done what you want to do. Over 10 years ago, I said I wanted to be a developer. And look at God. Like, y'all know she buy her land, build on it, and sell on it, sells the houses. What Black woman do you know that does that? Not, not a lot. And I mean, how you gonna learn to do it? Invest in yourself. So yeah, so 2023 for me looks like MS3IT doing great things. I'm gonna have like at least I'm gonna say 30 doors, okay, by the end of 2023. All right. Like I wasn't even gonna say this, but like we're going for the M this year. All
Okay.
right. Yeah, like I'm putting it out here on, you know what I'm saying? Like, you speak it as if it already was, right? And I was watching the Tabitha Brown video the other day, and she was talking about how when she did that review on that vegan sandwich for Whole Foods, and she was like eating it, and she said, I feel like my life is changing as I speak. And her life really was, because then like 4 days later she became an ambassador or something for Whole Foods, and look at her now. You know what I mean? Um, this year I am just being more intentional about obedience, and because we can't do anything without God. So we didn't even know that, period. All right. And and I wanted to say one thing. I'm making my list of 300 things, right? And one of them is to make sure my 4-year-old, who will be 5 by the end of this year, is reading fluently. And and that my 2-year-old is like meeting her milestones, doing great. And because of that, I made a goal to read to them every night, and to have one Mommy and Aspen day and one Mommy and Addison Clare day. And so it goes back to setting your goals, and then, creating the daily activity that's going to allow you to attain those goals and reach them. It also goes back to, how am I a successful mompreneur? I'm implementing systems into my household and delegation, right? So my system is like, oh, well, I'm going to read to this daughter at this time, right? Like I have a plan, right?
And that's a part of a system and a routine, right?
Right. Yes. Yes. So a lot of things that we do in our business, we can do in our household. And just writing your goals down is just extremely important. So that's my plan for 2023. Go get this money, y'all. Yes, if people ain't talking about nothing, like Beyonce says, I ignored a lot of calls. Let them go. Believe in yourself. Surround yourself with people that have dreams and goals like you, right? God didn't give us a vision for it to perish, right? And just call Erica and get your coaching. How about that? Get started.
So, Nikisha Joe says, stay with a positive mindset. I'm loving the energy. Thank you, Boss Stuff Academy, for the opportunity to gain some knowledge we need to help us to better help ourselves. Get in your bag and stay in your bag.
Amen.
Pretty much, if we have to say it, so some takeaways. Build your network, which will build your net worth.
Yes.
Sometimes elevation requires isolation. Change your mindset. Make that taboo your new normal. The things that the people around you that want to make you shame about, make it your new normal, because that is somebody else's normal, right? And that the checks gonna separate the men from the bosses.
I mean, that's what they said. You know what I'm saying? And again,
to really focus on what you want, go after it, execute through your systems and your routines. So I can't stress that enough. A lot of people don't understand the top things in business is having those systems and routines, and knowing your P&L statement, knowing your numbers. Those are if you master those 3 things, you will have a successful business. Thank you, Ivy, for coming on and sharing some of your wisdom tonight. And hopefully, like I said, we did our job tonight. At least a couple people were influenced by tonight's live. So and then go and follow Ivy on, and I'm gonna put her information in the comments so that you can go and follow her and her Aspen show, and you can follow and see the updates, and hopefully build your news feed full of inspiration and people that are doing what you want to do and helping you, even if you're not physically or in person connecting with these people, that you're virtually connecting to them with the power of the internet.
Amen. Yeah, the internet is so powerful. I was actually reading part of a book by Judy Dupart. You know, she's married to the brat, and it's called When the Miracle Drops. And she was talking about how she started her business with $2,000 and how social media just had such a huge impact on her business growing. And now she's a multimillionaire. So I would just definitely say, even though I've always been positive, you know, sometimes we can all like, you know, get in a rut. But my mindset is in a completely different place than it was a year ago. And uh, I just wish that for all of you, because I was watching something on YouTube and they said you don't become, I don't know if they said like you don't become you basically you don't become successful when it's realized, right? You become successful when you make the decision. And this sounds so like I've heard that before, but this is true. When you make the decision that you're going to do what you need to do to get to where you want to be. Like when your mind shifts and you believe you can do it, and you're going to hold yourself accountable. And we got to all be consistent, persistent. Like this is all so that's why mindset is so important. And I know it's something you can't feel, touch, like it's not tangible, but you can feel it when it happens. So it's kind of like going to the gym, right? Like pump the iron, get your mind where it needs to be, even when it's not natural. You know, you got to kind of go through the hard times to get to the smooth sailing. So that's why y'all need a coach. Okay. I got mine. That's it.
Well, thank you, and I love you, Ivy. And we really have developed not only a coaching relationship over this past year, but a true friendship. And we think a lot alike, and we share, you know, our experiences and stories, and you need that, and you need somebody. You know, you gotta. It's kind of like jumper cables. You gotta have that connection. And that the right connection, the positives, the negatives, all of that, your process makes it who you are. And like Tanya says, until you make that decision, it's just talk. A lot of people got to get out their head. And what do I always say, Abby?
Oh, shoot.
Get out of your head and into
your
action.
Oh yeah, right, exactly. Yes.
You gotta get out of your head into action. You gotta pull the trigger. You standing there with a loaded gun. It's either kill or be killed. So get out of your head and get into action. I can't stress that enough.
Because we are iPhones.
Huh?
Sorry, because I'm an iPhone. We're iPhones, right?
I always say that too.
Yes. The iPhone. Apple will put out the iPhone 14 and then a month later get an update. So we cannot focus on perfection. We got to put into action. We got to execute. It's going to be cool. Because guess what? The people that we putting this content out for, that we doing whatever for, they probably, like, they still figuring it out too. So it's like, just do it. And I want to also say one more thing. And y'all, I'm not just saying this, okay? Let me tell you something, okay? My husband and I were going to open up another You Break I Fix. We signed the paperwork, put down the money years ago, right? And we are still very happy with the You Break I Fix that we have, but we continue to grow, develop all things, right? So we pretty much decided to take another route, but we did have some influence And that influence like really saved us. So make sure that when you're spending money, you're not it you can make you can change your mind, right? Because if it don't make money, it don't make sense, right?
Right.
So don't be too hard on yourselves if you change your mind in regardless to a business decision. Sometimes it's better to lose a couple $1,000s than lose, I don't know, $100,000 because you're trying to save face. Like, if we would have opened another store in another location, because you have to know your limits, right? I would have been in proximity much further away from my children. And I'm just trying to tell y'all, like, so I'm just gonna say thank you to my influence, okay, who helped us, you know, just decide to, maybe consider other options that would possibly work better for us. Um, Also, y'all better find out about y'all taxes and these tax credits because y'all leaving money on the table, okay? ERTC, EIDL, SBA. If y'all don't know what these acronyms stand for, then Google it. But again, it's about getting in the right rooms. So it's like getting the key. Just pay for the key. And then you can get in the door. There's all these people. And then you got all the game. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just can't put enough emphasis on knowledge is power. We know execution is even more important, and being in the right room is so important. And I always try to share anything that I learn, and so know that my coaching will be coming in the next year or two too. I'm a pump in the gym, so y'all be ready to pay my fees because I'm gonna know my worth. That's it. I'm good.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Have a great
Yes.
night, everyone.
Yes. Have a great night, everybody.